We are doing the 12 steps for everyone, and today it's about hope, and that song really is about not listening to those voices, be it the own internal, what I call the monkey mind, could be called the committee, whatever you want to call it, that which is constantly telling you you can't. Sometimes it's the external voices. You don't even have to listen to this because you've got friends and family that actually, always want to tell you, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. And so I wanted to start out by, because we're on step 2, and so I like to honor where these steps came from. And they came from Alcoholics Anonymous. And obviously they're brilliant, because Alcoholics Anonymous, these steps were written in 1935. And since then, there are 12-step programs for almost anything that is going on in life. You can find a 12-step program to support you. And if you have something that's going on in your life and you don't know of a 12-step program, I promise you could start one. That's how good these steps are. They absolutely can be maneuvered to help you change situations in your life that are no longer working for you. And so I have 3 books, and it's interesting today how you get to stop and change your own energy. So I'm going to share with you today because it's going to fit into this whole process of letting go of things. So the first thing that happened to me this morning, I reached down to grab, and when I get a glass of water, they're this big and they're full of ice. We're on our way out the door, and I wanted one last sip of water, put my hand on the glass, and dropped it. Fortunately, the glass didn't break, but all the water and all the ice cubes. So that kind of, right? There's that, oh, yeah, great. I hope my whole day's not like this. And then you saw the whole situation with the mic not working and trying this and the mic not working. And then Jim came up when they were singing, said we figured it out, put the mic back on. And I was like, no, I'm done. And then because I thought, stop, just stop, put the mic back on, and go back there, and they figured out what the issue was, and now I have my mic, so my hands are free. So, I can talk more freer when my hands are free, just so you know. So the second step in AA is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Wouldn't that be nice? Because even, I have shared that I am in recovery. I will have 17 years in October, and thank you. And I have insanity in other areas of my life. So, and I think that's the brilliance of 12 Steps for Everyone. I think everybody, maybe not the Dalai Lama, all the rest of us, I think we all have an area, at least one. I have many, so if you think you don't have one, I'm willing to lend you one, where we're just a little insane, right? So the second book, where I got the title for the talk, is called The 12 Steps for Everyone. It's by Jerry Hirschfeld. He's a PhD, and he said, we admitted and accepted we had a problem that we could not resolve by ourselves, and repeated attempts to resolve it only made it worse. Okay? That's a lot to remember. And as you know, I'm reading Russell Brand. Now, it's my second book, and I will tell you all, if you weren't here last week, if you have a problem with salty language, do not buy Recovery by Russell Brand. If you know who he is, you know what's in the book. I personally love the book. However, there's words that I use other times during the week that I would never use on stage. So, his second step is, could you not be so messed up? It's not what he says, but I'm just saying. Could you not be so messed up? Is there an opportunity that you might want to let something go? And then I found a book that is the one that Cynthia will be selling in the bookstore. Oh, and that was the other thing that happened. So I'm sitting there before, I think when Bill was still reading, and thought, oh, I have to go to my office and get the books so I can hold them up, tell them they're for sale in the Life Abundant bookstore. I'll wait until Bill is done, and then I'll get up. And then I'm like, yeah, that won't help unless you can walk to Kent, because they're at home. So just one of those mornings where I get to live and breathe this step. I love it when God does that to me. Not so much. became willing to change our thinking both about ourselves and about the role of spirit in our lives. Hope, having the desire and expectation for something better. That's what the second step is all about. And so it is absolutely science of mind. Absolutely science of mind. It is change your thinking, change your life. You know, we have 2 visitors here, or at least I know 1 visitor here from Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, which if you don't know is where Yvette and Belinda go to church now down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that church birthed from Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. And the first time I spoke there, I was a ministerial student, and I was used to speaking to 10 people. And I walked in, and the first service, because there were 2, the first service there was about 100 people. I was like, okay, I could do this. And then the second service there was 350. And I said to the second group, now remember, second service started at 11 o'clock. These people have had breakfast and coffee. They are there to rock it during service. They're talking back to you. They're laughing at everything you say. It was really fabulous energy, and it kind of shook me to my core. So I started out by saying, oh, I thought the first service was a lot of people kind of breaking the ice. I just shared, because on the back of their wall, in big print, it said, change your thinking, change your life, which is something that Ernest Holmes has said and was said by people before him. I think there's a essence of that quote by Buddha. And I said at the time, and I continue to say, it sounds so easy, doesn't it? Change your thinking, change your life. Yeah, sure. It works. I will tell you this, it works. It absolutely works. However, it doesn't work if you're light of heart. Because here's what happens. And I used to say to people, I've started reading different books now, and I like this different analogy. I used to say to people, the minute I would say, oh, I want patience in my life, and then I would realize that there wasn't a lot of patience going on around me. In fact, it was coming up glaringly, kind of like the universe saying to me, you sure you want patience? Let me show you what that looks like, how you should behave. And then I read a book that said, actually, the universe is never against you. And so that is your soul calling situations towards you so that it can grow and expand. Are you ready to practice patience? So this is the universe showing you another opportunity for you to be patient in. So it's not for the light of heart. Because usually when we're ready to give up something and we make that intention, then we want to control what that looks like. Do we not? Is there anybody here that thinks they have, they absolutely understand they have no control of anything? Yeah, we all, somewhere in our life, right? Somewhere in our life, we like to know that our fingers in that pie absolutely, it's going to change the world. And I will tell you, the minute you can get your fingers out of the pie and wash your hands and let the pie just sit, that there is a power greater than you in the universe that is never against you. It is always for you, and it will walk you through any situation and help you heal anything. Now, one of the opportunities I have had to practice this is, and hopefully I'm not alone, we all have that how people should behave. Well, I think this person should behave this way. Well, I think, this person needs to do this. So here's a clue. No, they don't. Neither do you. The only person you have control over, the only person that you can change is yourself. Deeming everybody else wrong does not make you right. It might make you righteous, which is not necessarily an attractive quality. People get to be who they are. You get to decide if you're going to play in the same sandbox. So if one of your things was last week when we talked about giving up something that our life had become uncontrollable around. To give that up, to do something different, you're going to need to shift how you relate to that situation. And I have shared this with you before. It was one of the most brilliant things my mother ever said to me when I used to complain about people, places, or things. Gayle, who's the common denominator? Or you're pointing one finger out, how many fingers are coming back? You can't change anything outside of yourself. I promise you, if you change yourself, things around you will start to change. They absolutely will. Those people that bug you, they won't show up in your life so much. It's not that they've changed, it's that now they might not even be around. I can promise you, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have known any of you. I can promise you that. I would have thought you people were crazy. And that would be nice. I shifted. You didn't change. I shifted. I changed who I was. I changed how I look out on the world. And so it's about being authentic, right? That is one of the ways to absolutely live in hope and to know that there's a power greater than myself. It's to be authentic all the time. I don't get to be Reverend Gayle and then Gayle. I am sorry if you want somebody different standing up here than somebody that's going to be eating cake with you over there or treats with you over there. It doesn't happen. And I have said to people, maybe I'm not that smart. I don't know. I just have to be me. And so what you see up here is what you get regardless of where I am. If I'm at Colleen's house with goats climbing on my back, still me. Right? So be authentic. That's the biggest gift you can give to yourself. Because if you absolutely believe that you have to be a certain way for somebody to like you, okay, this is kind of rough. They're not worth your time. Right? Let them go find other friends. I promise you, if you're authentic, you will attract your tribe to you. I think we're doing that here. And I will tell you, in this room, we don't all get along all the time. Oh, really? But you're also spiritual. You practice this. You know this stuff, and we're human. And sometimes somebody's going to bug you, and they're going to be right here on Sunday, and you're going to think, I had a minister who used to say to me, this is where you get to heal all your dynamics, your family dynamics, your relationship dynamics. You get to heal it right here on Sunday morning. And some people would say, that's not why I come to church. Oh, trust me. It's why everybody comes to church. It's just that they didn't know it. And I don't care what kind of church it is. Everybody is coming to heal themselves. And so the second step is about trusting and knowing that there is something bigger in play than just you. And I don't care what you call it. I really don't. You can call it anything. I used to say on Sundays, call it anything. Call it Bob. And people didn't understand. That was my dad's name. That's why I said it. It doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. What I believe is it's listening all the time. So what you really want to be conscious of is, what are you thinking and saying? Because if you are thinking and saying about all the bad stuff that happened to you yesterday, you have just pulled that over into today's reality. That is a practice of me sitting there and saying, quit acting like a 2-year-old. Put the mic back on. Go back and see if it works. So that's growth for me. Because there would have been a time within the last 17 years, maybe I'm a slow learner, that I would have said, no, I'm not going to put the mic back on. I already took it off. How many of you behave like that sometimes? It's not attractive. It's not. And thank goodness we have friends that love us so much that when they do that, they kind of look past it and think, she'll come back. Now, I will say for me, my little tantrums are shorter lived because I recognize them for what they are. Hopefully before my friends can point it out. Sometimes not, but hopefully. So it's about being authentic. The other thing to do in this thing of hope is share your brilliance with others. And not in a way of, oh, let me tell you how you should live your life. What I mean by share your brilliance with others is mentor people. Let people know, because when you start to really live these steps, to live this philosophy, your energy is going to change. And people are going to say, I want what she's got, or he's got, or they have. What's going on? There's a big change that has happened in that person's life. What are they doing? And so remember, because we're all God-informed, we are here to be brilliant. We are here to share that with everybody, not browbeating them over the head. You have to do this and you have to do that. Just, how many of you know and feel the love in this room? Share that. You know how you share that? You just allow your body and your energy to emanate that out into the room. That's it. I don't have to say anything to anybody. I just have to be that shift energetically. I just need to know that I am an emissary, if you will, of the divine. So many of you know I'm doing the Course of Miracles. And what I have found brilliant about reading it, because in my head, I really thought the Course of Miracles was very Christian-based. And if you only read the language, it might sound very Christian-based, but it is really, really, really new thought. And so yesterday was about knowing that you don't have to go anywhere or do anything except realize you're already God in form. It's Ernest Holmes used to say it's a revealing of the soul. It's that knowing deep down within you that you are as brilliant as the Dalai Lama. You are as compassionate as anybody else in this world. And maybe people, places, and things have made you forget that. So the opportunity is to remember, to unhook the stories, to let go of things you've been told. And so with step 2, it's all about claiming your good, which is God. I choose to call God. You can call it Spirit. And to know that when things happen in your life, that you have a voice to stand up for yourself and say no. I am not saying when I say you can't change well, I guess I am. You can't change a bully, right? You can call a bully out, but you're not going to change a bully. How you change a bully is how you react to a bully. Do you make a stand and say, this is wrong, and this is who I am, and I'm not going to change, and you're not going to frighten me? Or do you let what the bully says about you fester and start to take over so you can't be happy? And it's a choice. See, the choice is always personal. The choice is always personal. I can't tell any of you how to behave. I can't even really tell all of you to stop listening to that committee in your head. Stop listening to those people who say you're not good enough or you can't or you shouldn't. I can't tell you to, but I can encourage you to, because it's how I choose to live my life. And I will promise you, it is a practice. Some days, I got it down. Usually those are days I'm here by myself. I'm getting better, though. But it is a practice, because we are interconnected. So unless we're, a monk living in a cave totally by ourselves, we have to communicate with the world around us. And every philosopher out there says that's why we're here, is we're all interconnected. We're all looking for that community that will love us unconditionally. And by loving us unconditionally, it means we don't get to change each other. We just don't. So just breathe that in. And before we pray, I want to read a quote to you that you've heard many times. It's one of my favorites. And it's by Marianne Williamson. And I think it captures, could you not be messed up? Could you truly decide that you're going to trust something bigger than yourself and quit trying to control everything in your life? Just surrender and turn it over. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So this week, what I'd like you to practice doing is being that light. Every time you come upon a person, place, or thing, and there's a button pushed, the first thing I want to ask you to ask yourself is, why did I call this person into my life? The second thing I want you to do is surrender. That is the second step. Surrender. Allow yourself to surrender before you respond. Feel the energy and just surrender. This isn't who I am. This isn't who I've come here to be. I am a light. I am God in form. I am compassion. So let's pray. So breathing in that delight, that love, that energy that is God as each and every one of us. Knowing that power, that presence, that one. It is over us, around us, through us, as us. It has never gone anyplace. We are swimming, living organisms within it. All of us, everything. God in form. And so what I know for each person here today is they start to recognize that. In big steps or little steps, it doesn't matter. They start to truly feel into the energy that is that divine principle that is God as them. To know right here and right now in every situation they're at choice. Regardless of what the situation looks like or feels like, they're at choice. They get to choose how they respond. And so I choose for you a sense of calm. I choose for you a knowing beyond the chaos around you that you are that eye of the storm. You are that calm presence. That you are a light. That you choose to turn up the light brighter. Because the brighter you shine, the more the shadows fall behind you. And so it is in this realization of knowing who you are and why you're here that we claim for ourselves right here and right now, that we are willing to change our thinking both about ourselves and about the role of spirit in our lives. Because spirit in your life is you. ever playing, ever expanding, rejoicing in all that is. So I give great thanks for that. To all the powers, to every name it is called. As I turn all of these words over, knowing that as it is spoken, it is done, it is complete. The universe has said yes right back to us, because that's what it does. And it is in that yes we all let go and let God, and in that together we say, and so it is.